Welcome to my very dark parkway. I haven't made a garage door video in ages, so we will today. Right here, we have a 375P. 373P. Press it once. Press it twice. Press it 3 times. 4 times the charm. I've been having issues with this receiver. I thought it was this remote at first, so I switched to a, I also have a 373 LM in there, and I thought that remote was acting upside a Craftsman thing in there for a bit. I put the 375 back in there since it's not falling apart like all my Craftsman remotes are. But I thought it was some sort of issue, but I think it's a receiver issue. Now, my garage is lit with fluorescent lights, and fluorescent lights are known to cause radio interference and stuff, so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. But yeah, recently got this. I have 2 of these. This one was new old stock. The first one I had a few issues. The other one, it kind of works. I stole the battery out of it for another remote, but the push button function works, but the proximity sensor for the lights on that one does not work. But this is kind of annoying because, as you can tell, when it's very humid outside, the proximity sensor is crazy sensitive. So if you just move the thing around, it just lights up randomly. So there is that. I'm going to put this back in the car. Actually, we're going to run the door down. And see. Can I get it to reverse? There we go. I really like the look of this remote. I'd like to get the 375 Max, which is the same remote as this, but instead of the chrome, it is it's black. So I'll put this in the car. I have another remote up on the dash, or up here. Have the Genie remote for the door in the shed. That 375 that I was mentioning, and then this Sears remote, which will shove this back up here and get a better look at it. Oh wait, I have camera flash. Thing's beautiful. This is also new old stock. And this runs the other door. I've been wanting to get a receiver on this door for a while. I was looking for another 315 so I could use the same remote for both doors, but I'm not going to complain. And here is the second remote. This was a remote kit. Actually going to run the door down first with the original wall station because there is a train outside. But this was a bit annoying. But kit came with 2 remotes. This is the other remote, and there is the receiver up there. And that receiver has the coat hanger style antenna. I think it's actually the same style antenna that's on those. And it's kind of hard to see it from over here, at least the antenna anyway. You can probably see it there. But yeah, this is very early solid state. This is like the same thing as those ones with the same style remote. They have remotes that look like this. Actually, to be oriented like this. And they say Sears solid state radio control, and it's one long button down the side, and it's brown with fake wood grain. I'm actually looking for one of those. Actually, I think I might be getting one soon with another opener. But yeah, it's pretty much, this is what came after those. This one is a free button remote, which is kind of interesting because this was something I was hoping for, and maybe it does work, but how Sears advertised this now, the manual describes it, is these other 2 buttons can control other things. Also, here's one of the original Sears batteries that was in the remote. This one's a bit corrody doodled. The other one's fine. I don't know where I put that, but kind of sucks this one's corrody doodled, but I do have a good one. But this is original 1980s Sears battery, which the length that Sears did to put their name on just about everything is just beyond me. So big respect for Sears for putting their name on just about everything. Like there's a box fan there that's branded as Sears, but I recently came across a towel that was Sears branded, which is, like, out of all things, a hand towel. It was branded as Sears. Uh, so that's really cool to see shit that's been Kmart or Sears branded. These are two big stores that are kind of nostalgic to me that are now gone. I have no idea what that noise was. Anyway, this is the packaging. Part number 953729. Never got a chance to check what the model number was on the receiver, but transmitter, receiver kit, conversion kit, free channel. I believe the purpose of this was to, so these older receivers, at least back in the day, a lot of things such as fluorescent lighting, which I am still using, and a few other things, these receivers here were known to have pretty bad interference. It wasn't just things like lighting and stuff, but I know like some cars, certain types of radio waves and stuff like that. They weren't really, back in the 70s or so, they didn't really have the same standards as they do today, nor the technology. So these things, they did have issues. This is very early. This is binary solid state. It's not analog. This is right kind of going into that. I'm surprised they have these solid state controls. Apparently these are actual solid state. I thought they were analog. I've shown in here, these are kind of screwed up. I have both the receivers unplugged on these, but yeah, that's, I think, the tuning dial. But no dip switches on here. Kind of would just like get a remote and frequency, and if you wanted to get a replacement remote, good luck trying to find one that's the right frequency. So there is all that going for it. But yeah, there's the receiver. The receiver has the same plastic mold as the standard Craftsman Sears wall button of that era, late 80s, early 90s, and all it is a different board inside. Also, the thing they did different is that top cover, that pops off. You pry it off on both sides, and that's where the dip switches are and your adjustment for the frequency. I had to take this apart. There was a bad solder joint on one of the wires. My soldering iron is currently broken, but I was kind of able to fix it with a little bit of hot glue. So it's working for the time being. I'm going to probably have to go through there and redo it. It has I think it's 24 volt AC adapter, not DC, but AC. So theoretically it could use the same voltage that this opener uses. I think the reason why they went with that is because when you're closing it and it shorts out the circuit, it wouldn't have enough power to keep everything going. Another thing with this is you can't use a standard, we'll use this IDC receiver here, but you can't use one of these because these have 3 pins. These only have 2 on the back. This would work great on something like an Alistair or similar style of machine from that era. And that's kind of the same thing as like a multi-code receiver, and still you can't use one of those on this because it's just 2-wired setup. This one here, it's kind of hard to see because I have that junction box in the way. That's that Craftsman plug-in receiver that was hooked up to the 373P. And then right there, it's just kind of hooked up with some bell wire. I didn't bother using the original bell wire that came with it, but it does work. I'll do some range tests shortly. Show you the box a little bit more. It can be used with any garage door opener. They should have put an asterisk on there because when you read the owner's manual, it does not work with any garage door opener. But it would work with most, and I don't have the owner's manual here. Let me find that quickly. So right here's the receiver, the back side, but disconnect before setting the code. I kind of didn't do that, but you can kind of see all this stuff here, all the general information they're talking about. And then these are accessories. This is a wall, like a plug-in receiver. It's pretty much like these are all like X10 gadgets. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the same thing, but just relabeled for Sears. But this is pretty much a lamp unit, lamp module. So just pretty much self-explanatory. When you press one of these buttons, it would send a signal to one of these accessories and connect power. So that can be hooked up to a lamp or something. This one here is an in-wall unit, pretty much the same thing as that, and it can control a light fixture, ceiling fixture of some sort. And then this here is the same thing, but it goes into a lamp or light socket. So pretty much just screw it into a socket, screw the bulb into it. It's pretty much like one of the ones with like a little daylight sensor on the side of it, or the same thing but with the now I can't think of it, the little tab that goes off of it to convert any lamp into a touch lamp. It's like one of those. So yeah, and how it works is these buttons here, I don't know how, I think you can do it with some of the dip switches on here, but you can have these two buttons control any of these three accessories. I'm not sure you can do it simultaneously or both or something, but that's how it's set up. I think probably reads somewhere on here. So I was kind of devastated because I was hoping when I got the other opener I can program one of these other buttons to that other remote, because I was going to put that receiver on this opener. Actually, this opener might be getting replaced because its relay is still acting up, as you saw from how many times I had to press the button in order to get it to work. Here's the back side, and this is where they should have put the asterisk in. This radio control will not work with the Genie press twice to close garage door opener. So, like those old 850s I showed up in Alliance that were made in Alliance, those machines, they had the actually I have a remote for one of those here, but here we go. Thank you, Rusty B, for this remote, but those you have to press the button twice like this. You can't just press it once. And it was supposed to be more of a safety feature to help with kids or something, or so like if you're by the door and you press the button or bump the remote or something and it won't work right. Yeah. I'm not sure when they stopped doing that, but I think during when this was going on, they were still doing that. But yeah, there's all of that stuff in there. Battery test light. That's an interesting. That's a interesting name for just a power light or frequency light. I can't remember what the proper name for that is. And I wish a good majority, a lot of remotes now they have this, but for a little while in the 2000s, they didn't, like that Genie Tombstone there. And I have a capacitor remote down there, it's taken apart. But yeah, remote companies bring this back, or at least try to, even with the bootlegs. But yeah, there's the receiver. This was donated to me by Vintage Collections on YouTube. There's the original bell wire, which I'm probably never going to use, and I'll probably now use this box for remote storage, since I have using all the equipment. This remote here will either be in the Caliber, or on the zero turn, or in the house. I kind of don't want to use this the zero turn. Somewhere around here, I think it's in this box. I have let's see if I can get the remote out. Jeez. Oh, and it's a 375 LM. Found my lost vacuum filters, but these remotes here, this would be the 61 LM. So, would 61 LMs work with these interchangeably? I know these were a bit after. These are still dip switch remotes, as you can see. So, yeah. These would be mid to late 90s. This was right before they switched to the red square. Anyway, let me know if those would work with this, because I would like to have one of those on the zero turn, since those remotes are kind of beaten up, and this would be a bit too nice to kind of beat up. And out of the two of these, this one's the nicer of the two, so this one is probably going to be like in the house or something. So we'll run this one up. We'll do a couple tests with this and with the remote, but I still have the Franken drive up here. I'll take it down and swap it out with something else eventually. I have all of these, but that's there, and it's probably going to be another couple months before I'm doing opener videos again. So it does hold the relay for a little while before it lets go. That's how it's programmed, I'm pretty sure. I like the relay buzz on this opener, so I won't really complain about that. And instant reverse does work. We'll run it back up again, and then I'm going to go outside because I haven't done any range tests with this. I'm curious if it's going to work over there by the side of the street. This is with a brand new battery. When I mean brand new, it's a puck cell, so it's not going to be something crazy powerful. But I'm going to go all the way over here by the street. We are in the street. Here's the remote. There's the garage. This is a bit too far away for me to really even be able to hear anything because there's air conditioners running. I don't think it closed it. Try it from here. There it goes. See the instant reverse? Try it a bit. Try it by the telecommunications pole. Because from there I could actually see the release cord. I don't think that worked from there, but it's okay. Definitely hear that relay buzz. Do it from the patio. Instant reverse. Here. It'd work better if I didn't have all those lights on. So it works from there. We'll go over into the neighbor's driveway. This is another testing spot I tend to use. It's going to be interesting looking at this door for once. Instant reverse, of course. I love that. Probably going to put this opener in the thermal overload eventually, but do a couple more runs. Already going to be a 20-minute video probably. So, there's this one. Since I'm here, I did show you that one from the outside, but we will give it a quick inside cycle. I don't think I have a remote in here with a battery, so we'll run this with the wall panel. Now that it's been warm outside, the relay on this one has behaved a bit better. Since I use this store a bit more, I think is the better radio set than that one, since that one seems to be a bit faulty. But yeah, that's all I got to show for now. This is I already showed you the model. This is the 139.53718. I don't know what the model number for the receiver itself is, and the power plug is Weibosch branded. It's not a Sears or a LiftMaster Chamberlain branded product. So thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze.